Folks, I talk to people every single day who are chasing what they call the American dream, And at the top of that dream list, right there in big, bold letters, is buying a house. We've all heard it. We've all been told that owning a home is the #1 way to build wealth and secure your family's future. It's painted as this magical step that instantly turns you into a financially responsible adult. You get the keys, you get the picket fence, and all your money worries are supposed to just melt away. That sounds wonderful, doesn't it? It's a comforting story we tell ourselves, but let me tell you something, and I need you to hear me on this. That story is a fairy tale for a lot of people. It's a myth. The idea that just signing on the dotted line for a 30-year mortgage is a golden ticket to financial peace is one of the most dangerous pieces of advice out there today. It's this kind of thinking that gets good, hardworking people into a world of financial pain. They jump into the biggest purchase of their lives, based on feelings. Let's tackle the biggest myth of them all first. You've heard it a million times from your brother-in-law, your real estate agent, maybe even your parents. They say, a house is the best investment you can make. Real estate always goes up in value. People believe this because, for long stretches of time, it can seem true. They see their neighbors sell a house for more than they paid, and they think it's a guaranteed path to getting rich. The story is simple. Buy a house, sit back, do nothing, and watch your net worth climb. But here's the truth, and it's a tough one for some people to swallow. A house is not always a great investment, and its value absolutely does not always go up. Thinking that way is like gambling with your family's future. Your primary residence, the roof over your head, is a place to live first and foremost. It's not a stock or a mutual fund. Its value is tied to things you can't control: local job market, quality of the schools, interest rates, overall health of the economy. Imagine you buy a house at the peak of a hot market. A year later, the market cools and a wave of foreclosures hits. Your home's value could drop significantly. If you had to sell, you'd lose tens of thousands of dollars. Never buy a house assuming it will make you money. If it appreciates over the long term, great, that's icing on the cake. Buy a home for stability and to make memories, not as a get-rich-quick scheme. Here's another one I hear all the time. They say, why would I keep throwing my money away on rent when I could have a mortgage payment for the same amount or even less? At least with a mortgage, I'm building equity. The advertisements from mortgage lenders love this line of thinking. They'll show you a beautiful home with a monthly payment that looks incredibly attractive, often seeming cheaper than the rent on a tiny apartment. This comparison makes people feel like renting is foolish and buying is the only smart financial move. The reality is that comparing a mortgage payment directly to a rent payment is like comparing an apple to a whole fruit basket. It's completely misleading. The principal and interest payment on your mortgage is only the beginning of your monthly housing costs. It's the ticket to the game, but it's not the price of the whole game. As a homeowner, you are now responsible for everything. All the costs that your landlord used to cover are now sitting squarely on your shoulders, and believe me, they add up faster than you can imagine. But your mortgage is just the beginning. You have to add in the other costs of ownership. Things like property taxes, homeowners insurance, and HOA fees can add hundreds to your monthly bill. And don't forget maintenance and repairs. A good rule of thumb is to budget at least 1% of your home's value each year for when things inevitably break. Forgetting these costs is how people end up broke. Lenders promote programs with little to no money down, but a small down payment is almost always a terrible idea. Putting less than 20% down means you'll pay private mortgage insurance, or PMI. PMI is one of the biggest scams in the mortgage industry. It's an extra monthly fee that protects the bank, not you. You're paying for their insurance policy. It's like throwing money away. That's why you must avoid PMI at all costs. So, what is the right approach? I teach people to save a down payment of at least 10%, but the goal should be 20%. If you put down less, you'll pay PMI, a penalty for not having a proper down payment. Never buy a home with less than 10% down. If you can't save that much, you are not financially ready. First, let's talk about costs to get the keys. These are called closing costs. This is a bucket of fees that can include loan origination fees, appraisal fees, title insurance attorney fees, prepaid property taxes, and insurance. How much are they? Plan on 2 to 5% of the loan amount. On a $300,000 loan, that could be $6,000 to $15,000 in cash at closing, on top of your down payment. Many buyers are shocked when they see that final number days before closing. Then there are costs to move in and set up your life. Do you have furniture for a bigger space? Probably not. New living room set, dining room table, bedroom furniture can cost thousands. What about appliances? They may be old. A new refrigerator washer dryer can easily set you back $3,000 or more. And finally, the heavyweight, major repairs and replacements. Big-ticket items can wipe out your savings. A new roof can cost $10,000 to $20,000 or more. A new HVAC system can be $8,000 to $15,000. A major plumbing leak, an electrical problem, those aren't $100 fixes. They are thousands. If you don't have an emergency fund for these things, you are playing with fire. One major repair can send you spiraling into debt. Okay, so we've busted the myths and revealed the scary truth about hidden costs. You might feel discouraged right now, but hear me clearly. You can do this. You can buy a home, and it can be a blessing. But only if you have a plan. You don't walk into a war zone without a strategy, and you don't walk into the biggest financial decision of your life without one. Here are the simple, practical steps to take before you look at houses online. This is your battle plan for financial victory. Be 100% debt-free, have a 3 to 6-month emergency fund, save a strong down payment, 10 to 20%. First, be completely debt-free except current rent or mortgage. No student loans, no credit card balances, nothing, zero, nada. Don't try to slay a mortgage while fighting other debts. Get intense, follow a plan, clean up your financial past. Your income is your most powerful wealth-building tool. Let it work for you, not lenders. Second, save a fully funded emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of essentials. This is non-negotiable. This is your safety net. Money to protect you when life happens. If you lose your job or have a medical emergency, this fund keeps you paying bills, so you won't have to go into debt or sell your house in a panic. Don't save for a down payment until this fund sits in a separate savings account. Third, once debt-free and funded, start saving aggressively for your down payment. Aim for 20% to avoid PMI. Minimum 10% is acceptable. Also, figure out what an affordable house payment looks like for you. Principal, interest, taxes, insurance. Your total payment should be no more than 25% of take-home pay. Get a 15-year fixed-rate mortgage. Buying a house is a huge milestone. It's a decision that will impact your finances. It will impact your family. It will impact your future for decades to come. It's surrounded by a lot of emotion, a lot of opinions, and unfortunately, a lot of myths. It's easy to get swept up in the excitement, to rush into a decision based on what everyone else is doing, or based on what a lender tells you you can afford. That path often leads to stress, worry, living paycheck to paycheck, chained to a house payment that owns you. I want you to experience the joy of homeownership, not the burden of it. Joy comes from being in control of your money, not letting your money control you. It comes from having a plan and making a wise, informed decision. Know that you can afford your home and still have money left over to save. Invest. Be generous. Peace of mind comes from knowing if the air conditioner goes out, you have the cash in your emergency fund to fix it without breaking a sweat. So, take a deep breath. Slow down. There is no prize for getting into a house before you are truly ready. Follow the steps. Get out of debt. Build your emergency fund. Save up a strong down payment. Doing these things in order builds your financial life on solid rock, not on sinking sand. You put yourself in a position of power. You can make choices instead of being forced into them by a crisis. You prepare to be a homeowner blessed by your home, not buried by it. Homeownership is not one size fits all, and it's not a magic pill for money problems. When approached with patience, wisdom, and a solid plan, it can be one of the most rewarding experiences of your life. You can do this. The peace on the other side is worth every bit of the effort.